Back at Lambeau Field, first-year head coaches about to meet. Eric Mangini and the New York Jets, Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers. This game brought to you in high definition by Sony, and we'll continue with the NFL on CBS in just a moment. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms with you this afternoon from Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The Jets at 6-5 in the wild card chase in the AFC. A game back of the Chiefs and the Broncos at the present time. And the Jets will be receiving the football to get this one underway. Dave Rayner has placed it on the tee, and Phil mentioned earlier, Green Bay has struggled at home this year. Justin Miller, the best kick returner in the league this year, is back deep, as well as Leon Washington. And that's Miller fielding it, taking it across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Chad Pennington coming off his best quarterback rating of the season since the opener. Strong performance in the victory over Houston, their largest margin of victory of the year. Nick Mangold, the rookie out of Ohio State, who again will look across the way and see his college roommate A.J. Hawk. Lavernius Coles last week, his fourth 100-yard receiving performance of the season. Quite a combo, Coles and Cotchery. Jets today with only two running backs active, Leon Washington and Cedric Houston, as they sit down Kevin Barlow and Derek Blaylock. Got four wides coming out with Brad Smith in there, and it's over to Smith, and the rookie from Missouri takes it up to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Again, the Packers allow 26 points a game, most in the league, although Aaron Campman has had a strong season with 10 sacks. A.J. Hawk out of Ohio State, having quite a rookie season. And Nick Collins, who was doubtful during the middle of the week with a hamstring injury, starts the game. Second down and 4. Leon Washington, the starting running back today. And there's the pass play out near midfield to Baker for the first. Goes for 13 yards. How about, Phil, your focus on the Jets today?
Well, mano a mano for the New York Jets. It's beat aggressive coverage. You can already see their plan. Come out and throw the football against an aggressive defense. For the Packers, well, the Swiss cheese heads, they're having trouble on defense, giving up big pass plays. That's why they rank 29th in the NFL against the pass, last in scoring defense.
The first rush of the game belongs to the rookie from Florida State, Leon Washington, the Jets' top rusher on the season, moving in on 500 yards on the season. Nick Barnett with the tackle.
The Jets' opening drives struggled on the road, but this offense, except for some of the troubles they had against the Chicago Bears a couple weeks ago, it is rounding in form. Everybody's learning their role, what the coaches want them to do, and that's when you become efficient and a lot better.
Cedric Houston enters the game for the Jets. Play action fake to Houston. Now the toss over to him. Trying to follow his lead block, and he breaks it for a first down, stepping out inside the 40. That was Mangold and Pete Kendall clearing out the left side for 11 yards.
Chad Pennington, play action fake to his left, rolls right, and then throws it back the other way. And this is an important play for the New York Jets. When you play, you heard Jim Nantz talk about it. I've said it. Green Bay is aggressive. They like to chase and get after you. How do you slow them down? Change directions, reverses, and passes that go in the opposite direction.
Just the third catch of the year by Houston. It goes for 11. And a first down at the 37. Packers may have jumped. No flag. Pass over to Ryan. Grabbed by the ankles by Papinga, the linebacker for the Packers. That's a gain of 5 yards.
How about we talked last night, we were talking to Chad Pennington, very excited about coming up here today and playing his first game in his NFL career. was up here in Green Bay since my heart was beating, and it was incredible. And then he goes, and I was the third-string quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't even play. It was Vinny's job at that time, but that opener of 2000 for the Jets right here at Lambeau Field, and the Jets won it. Pennington on that sideline with his heart just pounding, he said, throughout the game because of the nostalgia, the history, and the fact it was his debut. There's the pass and trying to squeeze it into Cotchery with no flag. That was Woodson on the coverage. Third down on the way.
Well, you talk about the Green Bay Packers, that they've been giving up plays. Charles Woodson playing the inside receiver. Pretty unique. He's a big corner, tall, and usually you keep those guys outside. So that shows you the talent he has to go in and cover the slot receiver and able to run all over the field with him.
Justin McCarons joins the lineup on 3rd down and 5 from the Packers 32. Pennington steps up, now fires, has an open man. It is McCarons for the first at the 15. 17 yards to McCarons.
It doesn't take a lot for a quarterback. A little bit of movement in the pocket. That's what Chad Pennington does that time. And just that little bit of movement, that extra half of a second, that's all it is. And what happens? A wide receiver becomes wide open, and it keeps the drive going.
Cotchery now shifting over to the left side. Coles to the right. Jets with an impressive opening drive. Good pass. It's Coles. And Harris grabs him high, shoves him out at the 8. 2nd down and 3 coming up inside of the 10.
You know, that last play, Jim, that quick throw outside, it's not a pass play that's called. It was a running play. Chad Pennington, Lavernius Cole saw the defender was off, so they go with it. And it's a good play for the Jets because both of their wide receivers, they're tough, they're strong, and they're not afraid to run in there and get you about 3 extra tough yards.
Chad has completed 6 passes to 6 different receivers. 2nd down and 3. And it's Washington getting the call. Going low and runs into the arms of Hawk. Who pulls him back with an assist. Marquand Manuel and Corey Williams in there with Hawk in 3rd and short on the way. 3rd and about a yard to go.
There's A.J. Hawk. We had a chance. Boy, did it. All the other players, the things they said about him. I think the one thing that caught my attention is how humble he is. 1st-round draft pick. A lot of notoriety coming out of Ohio State. And he's come in and he's handled everything well. But most importantly, he has shown everybody that he is going to be a tremendous linebacker in this league.
Jeff shift around, putting Washington behind Pennington. 3rd and 1. They're going to throw for it to the end zone. Open man, and it's just too steep for Cotchery. And they trot out Nugent.
Confusion, that's what the Jets do. Cotchery goes in between the 2 receivers, then finds his way to the back corner of the end zone. When you try to be aggressive on defense, receivers cross each other. Hard to follow him. He's wide open, but that time Chad Pennington's just off the mark.
Mike Nugent had quite a game last week. Kicked 4 field goals, including a career-long 54-yarder. 12 of 15 on the season. All of his misses, though, have come on the road. This one's true. Right down the middle. Jets take the opening possession down the field for 3. Yeah, the proud football history here in Green Bay. Never too far from the mine. And these hardy Packer fans ready to see their team touch the football for the first time. Their defense able to shut down the Jets inside of the 10. Nugent will be kicking away to Vernon Morency and Noah Herron. And that's Morency really sprinting straight up the field to the 33-yard line. So Brett Favre puts the helmet on, ready to take the field in a moment. Number 2, 233 starts in a row for Brett Favre as he's under center for the first time today. Begins with 3 receivers. Packers with the pump fake and the short toss to Ahman Green, and it picks up 8. That's Poteet who steps up to make the hit. You consider that for Favre, the streak of 233. Tonight when Jay Cutler starts for the Broncos, he'll be the 199th different quarterback to start since the streak began. College, one of 3 rookies on the line from North Pole, Alaska. And Green with that reception coming off an injury year and showing signs of returning almost all the way. 2nd down and 2, and the Packers went no huddle here. And that's Green with a second effort. And he's right near the first down yardage. Eric Barton with the tackle. The Jets defense has, the last 3 games, not allowed a first half touchdown. Thomas with a new contract this week. Vilma leads the team in tackles. And Kerry Rhodes in that secondary having a stellar year. When he was a high school quarterback down in Alabama, he used to imitate Brett Favre and his jump passes and many other things from his full arsenal. First down and 10. They fake it to Green, and he just hands it off at the last moment. He gives it up to Donald Lee. Actually, it's Bubba Franks, and it nets a gain of 2 yards.
Well, the Green Bay Packers, they talk about it, that they got a very young offensive line, and they struggle protecting Brett Favre at times, keeping extra people in. That time, Bubba Franks, he's the one that lets the pressure get under Brett Favre, but he's alert because the ball came to him.
Favre improvising, avoiding the Hobson sack. He puts himself into a 2nd down and 8. Morency is the running back. Favre is throwing back over to Franks. And Bubba leans forward for what appears to be, yes, another first down. How about the Packers, Phil, on the spotlight?
Well, Jim, the Green Bay Packers, it's cool runnings because they have not been able to run the football for the last couple of weeks. They'd like to try to do it today. For the Jets, hot pocket. And what that means, don't let Brett Favre run around, extend the play. That's all they talked about, because when he does, he's looking for the home run. And the home runs, they scare all defenses in this league.
First down from the 45-yard line of the Jets. Again, the fake to Morency. Here comes the pressure, and the ball is out, and the Jets have recovered. The Jets with the takeaway near midfield. Brian Thomas stripped it.
The 3-4 defense, it confuses the Green Bay Packers. Linebackers everywhere. Nobody blocks Brian Thomas. He causes the fumble.
Robertson recovers. Favre and his head coach, McCarthy, sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how the Jets, what they did on defense that confused the blocking of the Packers. The Jets brought 2 linebackers to Brett Favre's right on the blitz. They didn't know what to do, and that's why Brian Thomas calls the fumble.
And the play action fake. Pennington looks down the field. Man is open. It's Patry, who now becomes the 7th different receiver to catch a ball in this first quarter. And this one goes for 25 yards.
Well, they're going to clear it out up top like this. Then Patry's going to delay and come across. Look at the big hole as he goes to the offense's left. Chad Pennington knows right away that's where the open space is going to be and throws it in there perfectly.
Patry, who broke Torrey Holt's receiving records at NC State when he was catching them off the hands of quarterback Phillip Rivers. Some 200 career receptions for the Wolfpack, really emerging this year as a threat. A 100-yard performance of his own last week. We mentioned Coles earlier. They had both of them last week. And now over to McCarron's. And it's overthrown with good coverage by Patrick Dendy. We've got an update to James Brown.
Hey, Jim, the Falcons losers of 4 straight fall behind when the Redskins capped this 69-yard drive with this 8-yard run by Liddell Betts. Skins go on top in Landover, 7-0 over the Falcons. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Thank you, JB. Falcons in a slide right now. And the Redskins able to strike early. So 2nd down on the way as the Jets threw the ball into the end zone in the area of McCarron's. And now looking back deep again, goes short, and that was contact. Maybe a fraction before the ball arrived. Hawk on the coverage of Chris Baker, but no flag.
Yeah, that's right. No flag, but it's absolutely early. A.J. Hawk, as he has coverage just a little bit early. But good coverage that time. The Jets bunching their receivers together, trying to make it tough for the defensive backs to get real aggressive, so they have to stay back and wait for them to get about a 5-yard start. Good coverage that time, even though it was a tough formation to play man-to-man against.
Goes back to the shotgun. 3rd and 10 from the Green Bay 26. Lobs it, completes it. Washington to the 13 and a first. 14-yard gain, that is.
Washington against Aaron Catman, the left defensive end. The blitz. Here it comes to Chad Pennington. They are waiting on it. And they got Leon Washington sneaking out of the backfield against the defensive lineman. Again, the Jets, timely play calling and good execution by Chad Pennington and the receiver.
Cedric Houston in the lineup, lined up as receiver to the right. And now he'll shift back. And he'll get the carry, his first carry of the game, and he is met after a gain of about 2. Nick Barnett able to clog up that middle, playing with a cast that you could see there. Broken right hand suffered a couple of weeks ago, missed the game at Seattle, but he's back. Look at that.
That's about the biggest cast I've seen, and fewest touchdown passes on the year. Look who they are. The Jets, Oakland and Buffalo.
2nd down and 8. Straight drop back. Pennington throws, and he's almost intercepted. Right in the arms of Charles Woodson. He was looking for Chris Baker.
Well, Chris Baker's got to look for the football going into the wind. It does get away that time from Chad Pennington. You see the wobble, and Charles Woodson, even the coaches here in Green Bay, the last 3 or 4 weeks, he has really found it. Figured out the defense physically as good as I've seen him in many years.
Pennington facing 3rd and 8. Across the middle, has his man, and he walks it in for the touchdown. Cotchery. Jericho Cotchery got away from Nick Collins, who's not 100% with that hamstring. And it's a 12-yard touchdown pass.
The Jets are so much about deception, the shifts, the motions, everything. Watch Cotchery, number 89. Go in, stop, oh, and then when he restarts, that is too much for Nick Collins to cover. And that, again, knowing the defense they're going to get, they got it, and tremendous execution.
Nugent in for the extra point. Jets taking advantage of the turnover. 51-yard drive. 7 yards on that drive, picked up on a couple of passes to Cotchery. Pennington hits his man, who's able to go in untouched. 10-0 lead. Welcome back to Green Bay. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms. The Jets on that touchdown drive, converting on a 3rd and 10 and scoring on 3rd and 9. As Pennington's already put the football up 14 times, Phil.
Yeah, and to Jericho Cotchery, he caught that touchdown. We had a chance to talk to him last night, Jim, and it's all about hard work. A new coaching staff starting over. He took advantage of it, won a starting job, and he has played well.
He won the Mangini Offseason Conditioning Award, his offseason MVP award. That rigorous workout schedule, had to change his diet a little bit. Didn't want to insult his mother back down in Alabama too much. Loved her home cooking, but he was very watchful when it came to what was on the plate.
Well, you know, a new coach, they said all the jobs were up for grabs, and he said he found out right away that Eric Mangini meant it, and he won one.
Eric Coleman holds it for Nugent to kick it. It's Morency again, takes the middle route, and he falls near the 35. So Favre is stripped. Robertson recovers, and Pennington throws a touchdown to Cotchery, and the Jets are off to a hot start here on the road. There are only 2 Amazing Race episodes remaining. It's a good time to have a sense of direction and not get caught in a food fight. A new Amazing Race tonight after 60 minutes. Well, there's some pretty nifty work.
That is.
Want a cheesehead?
Well, when you talk about seeing some different gear, team paraphernalia, you will see it up here in Green Bay.
They have not had a lot to cheer about recently here at Lambeau Field. In their 5 home games, they've been shut out twice.
Well, it's so cold, I might put a cheesehead on. Well, maybe not.
Find a big piece of cheese. Well, first down and 10. And down the field, and a little push from behind. Bubba Franks with the shove. Ball almost intercepted by Eric Coleman. Andre Dyson back there.
The coverage is so good against Bubba Franks that the football looks like it's being thrown to Coleman. And it's a good job by Bubba Franks just running him over to stop the interception.
Donald Driver in the area also. I guess he was the target. Second down and 10. And Green runs into a whole wall there. That side man by Brian Thomas will give him a couple of yards.
Packers talking about how they have not run the ball very well, especially the last few weeks. Just giving Ahman Green no space to show that he still can do it, because he's explosive, in great shape, and it's a shame they can't take advantage of a weapon. But for the New York Jets defense, a couple weeks ago, the bye week, the light went on. All of a sudden, their techniques, all the coaching, it's starting to come through, and the defense is playing a lot better.
3rd and 8. Noah Herron in for the Packers. 3rd running back to see action. Barr gets some protection this time, gets it away to Bubba Franks, but he stopped short of the first. Sure-handed hold there by Victor Hobson.
Jim. Eric Mangini and this defense with Bob Sutton, defensive coordinator, just showing the Packers everything. Linebacker blitzes, different fronts. That time it was 3 rushers, a lot of guys in coverage, and nowhere for Brett Favre to go with the football.
Hunter John Ryan hunting today under most trying circumstances. His father passed away on Friday. And the punt down to Leon Washington, who's hit right away. Washington returning the punts today after Tim Dwight was put on injured reserve just a couple of days ago. We've got an update back to the studio in New York.
Hey, Jim and Phil, take a look here off of a Vince Young pick. Peyton Manning makes them pay. Pumps goes up top to Marvin Harrison, 68 yards, the 100th receiving touchdown between that duo. Of course, they lead the league and history. 7-0 Indy over Tennessee. Back to Jim and Phil.
All right, JP, yes, the all-time combo reaching number 100 down there at Tennessee. Kind of anxious to see how that game works out today. The Titans played into a 14-13 game earlier in the season. Quick snap, Pennington throws, and it's Cedric Houston with a flag down. Larry Nimmers and his crew on hand here. The first flag of the game.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So you take out the gain and back them up 5 yards. You can find the perfect gift for the sports fan on your list at the CBS Sports Store. And this weekend only, purchase an NFL jersey and save 25% off the regular price. Just click on shop at cbssportsline.com. So the Jets are backed up to the 12-yard line. That's Ryan lined up behind Pennington. Now shifting over, it's Cedric Houston. And Houston gets the carry up the middle with room, and across the 20 he goes. As Brandon Moore and DeBrickashaw, Ferguson, the rookie, able to clear the way for 10 yards.
As you watch the Jets, like many teams in the league, the heck with the huddle. What do you need that for? And they have so many ways to convey the plays to the players now. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about, but the Jets, they like to move fast. They like to shift. We got that going right now. Chad Pennington with the snap counts. A lot of things to think about when you're on defense when you play this Jets offense.
Great throwing play here on second down, and it's Baker wide open. Boy, they are finding some gaps out there in that secondary, and this one takes it all the way to the 44 and a gain of 22.
Well, we bragged about the Green Bay corners, and we should. They're good. Baker comes in the inside, and he takes advantage of the linebacker, and that's where this pass defense is getting beat up. And look at the space Chad Pennington has around him and the viewing lane. Nobody in front of him. That's why he's on the mark again.
Jets have had the ball double the time of the Packers here in this first quarter. And on first down, another play-action fake, and the man open. It's Cotchery, floating free at the 35-yard line. Well, and the crowd beginning to boo.
And what did we say last night? You come up here, I've never heard them boo, except maybe a little bit last year. But it's a zone blitz. They try to send extra guys, confuse the New York Jets. It did not confuse them. Good pass protection for Chad Pennington and another wide open receiver.
That one went for 21 yards. Last minute of the first quarter. It's back to Houston. Makes one little sidestep move to pick up 8 yards. Pennington just ripping them apart in this first quarter, on pace for a 600-yard performance. The way he's going right now.
Well, Chad was choosing his words last night very carefully to us. And, you know, he had to laugh, but I think he was trying to tell us we like the matchups. We're going to go out, be aggressive, throw the football, and try to make it happen. And they have here in the first quarter.
Pennington, with his 9th pass in this game, reached 1,500 attempts in his career, which qualifies him now for the all-time stats. He's second all-time in passing accuracy, and he's going good here today. Jets lead it after 1. We are back at Lambeau Field. Snow flurries in the area for this matchup between the first 2 franchises to win the Super Bowl. The first 3 Super Bowls in all going between these 2 franchises. 1 and 2 to the Packers, 3 to the Jets. We begin the second quarter. Jets are driving, already leading 10-0. Houston, beautiful move at the line, able to dodge some traffic and move it inside the 20. Anthony Clement with a block, and that goes for 9 more. Boy, the Jets threw for 151 yards in that first quarter.
Could have been more. A couple times Chad Pennington, he missed a touchdown throw, but the game plan, the thought process, I think we're learning now if you follow the Jets, they are going to reinvent themselves however they have to each week on both sides of the ball to give themselves the best chance to win.
They have a first down at the Packers 18. Pressure from the outside, stepping up to throw, and the ball is caught by Cole. For a minute, it looked like Nick Collins might make the pick.
Nick Collins had good coverage. He saw Chad Pennington. He tries to make a break for the football, but Pennington sees him. So he throws it low, and the only place, or a perfect place, where his receiver can catch it and the defender can't do anything about it.
Sets up a second down and 1. On the 9-yard line, and Leon Washington alone in the backfield. Take to the rookie, look to the end zone, and throw just wide of the mark. As in this case, Coles was well guarded by Al Harris.
In line.
Well, all the coverage. They were trying to throw the football right over the middle, in the middle of the field that time, but Charles Woodson had such good coverage on Jericho Cotchery, there was nowhere to go with the football.
Well, they stalled on their first drive of the game at about this same spot, and they had a 3rd and 1 in that situation and threw for it. Incomplete. They run it. They've got Leon Washington in the backfield. With Ryan playing the role of a fullback. Play action fake. Pass complete. And a 1st and goal to go at the 3-yard line. Cotchery with the catch. Look at the Jets. They were trying to call timeout. Mangini running down, but they got the play off in time, despite their coach's wishes.
Well, I don't think they liked the defense, and that was just a tremendous play by Chad Pennington, hanging in there. They couldn't block the defense in front, but stood in there, took the hit, and made another on-target throw.
So a 1st and goal to go with Houston in the backfield. He's been running hard on this drive. He gets the carry, and he goes straight ahead, and he is in for the touchdown. Cedric Houston with a 3-yard touchdown run, and Favre and the Packers find themselves with a big early deficit.
Well, Jim, just go over this drive. That 3rd down conversion, the Jets, Chad Pennington made the play and saved them because they did not have the right call on. You saw the coaches trying to call the timeout, and sometimes the players got to save the coaches.
And that was the case right here on that critical 3rd down play. Nugent makes it 17-0. The Jets with 3 possessions, a field goal, and 2 touchdowns. This one belonging to Cedric Houston. We're back here, and we're doing fine.
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing, Jim? I used to like that when I played in New York. Every day I'd walk to the practice field, bunch of fans. Hey, Phil, are you guys going to win this week or what? And every day, we're going to try to win. Yes. Good to be in Green Bay, though.
Always. Special place to make your way to. You got to see it. You love football? Come here. And that is Morency to the 28. We have Brett Favre on the field today in no small part thanks to my partner. You go back to last spring, Favre was listening to Phil Simms. Check it out.
In my truck, I have satellite radio, and they said, Phil Simms is coming on in 30 minutes, going to discuss Brett Favre's situation and whether or not he should come back or not. I said, I wouldn't mind listening to his advice.
And he listened to your advice. Here's the stretch play, the run with Ahman Green. Best rush for the Packers to this point. Good for a 1st down. And here was your advice back then that he overheard.
My answer to them is, hey, guys, play as long as you can. When you think it's over, play another or 2 years. Get as much, because life after football, it's forever.
And I said, that's me. And I said, you know, he's right. I should go back.
And here he is with a 1st down at the 39. Again, he's going to stay on the ground, and another nice run. Green breaks it. He's inside the 40, inside the 30, and finally out of bounds. Pushed out by Eric Coleman.
Well, my advice is one thing, but what Brett Favre needs in this game right now is this: some running right at the New York Jets. Because the Green Bay Packers, the way they like to block, it's the old Denver Broncos system. It's hard to go outside, so go right at them and what a hole for Ahman Green to run in.
That one goes for 35 yards, so a 10-yard run by Green, backed up by a 35-yarder. And Morency comes in to give him a breather, and he is doubled up by Vilma and the Jets. We've got an update. Back to James in New York.
Hey, Jim and Phil, talking with Jim Brown earlier this week, he says, don't call LaDainian Tomlinson a running back. He's a football player. He does it all. Here, 51 yards to pay dirt. Hey, fellas, 6 carries, 86 yards rushing in the 1st quarter, 25th overall touchdown. They're up 10-0. Back to Jim and Phil.
All right, so the Chargers with that long trip today to Buffalo, but unflappable again this week, at least early, 10-0. Morency, the 2nd straight carry, and swarmed under at the 22-yard line. Now back to this whole Brett Favre thing. I guess your advice if asked again, would be pretty much the same thing when it comes to Favre and the continuation of his career?
Well, Jim, I think now, I don't know. I think he'll make a decision this time quickly. But I think it was important for Brett Favre to come back. He knew what he was coming into. A young team, they weren't going to be that great, but he's played well. He's shown leadership, and you always can't play for the best team. And regardless of what people say, it's not always about winning. It's about doing your best.
Trying to do his best to get them into the end zone, and that was in the area of Jennings. On the third down play, Jennings, the rookie, who's had a big season, and it's incomplete.
You know, again, with Brett Favre, I think he knew this team probably wasn't going to go to the playoffs, but he could be part of the solution by letting them incorporate a bunch of young guys, which they've done with this team, youngest in the NFL, and being part of rebuilding. And once they get going, it's probably a good chance he won't be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers then.
A 40-yard field goal try on the way. Dave Rayner with the kick, and the kick is wide of the mark. Now, the Packers showed some promise with that drive, but come away empty. Down 17.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Papa John's Pizza. Order online at papajohns.com. Garmin, we'll take you there. And by Ford F-Series, built for bold moves, built Ford tough.
Here in Green Bay, the Packers have been swarmed here in their last 2 home games. In fact, over the last 6 quarters now, here at home, they've been outscored 52-0. Jets take over from the 30. And another open receiver, it's Leon Washington for 13 yards. Boy, he's spreading it around today, isn't he?
Well, we talked about this Jets offense. They're doing so well. It's the running backs, it's the tight ends, and then the wide receivers. That's Leon Washington, Jericho Cotchery, everybody in on the act. And when you talk about the Packers struggling against the pass, it's not always the corners and wide receivers. It's the inside defenders that struggle so much.
Cedric Houston getting the carry, and he's out across the 45 for 3 yards. That little clip package you saw in Pennington, completing to 8 different receivers so far in this game. Not even midway through the second quarter.
Everybody's found their role. I think that's why it's working. Brian Schottenheimer, offensive coordinator, I've said it before, he's doing a terrific job with this Jets offense. He's got the right quarterback. He's really clued in to what Chad Pennington can really do. Manage it, move it around, and then somehow find that one guy that gives him the best chance to get open.
Well, here they go with a reverse over to Smith with a block thrown by Pennington, and Brad Smith takes it all the way to the 25-yard line, I believe is where they say he stepped out. Mangold with a huge block. The handoff to Cedric Houston, right back on the reverse to Brad Smith. Then it goes for 33 yards.
Finding your role. That's what they've done. They defined it. And we know Brad Smith, nice try by Chad Pennington. It allows Brad Smith to get around the corner as he makes that block, blocking down the field. Again, aggressive defense, misdirection works.
Spotted at the 22, straight ahead with Houston. And another 3-yard gain.
Did you see that?
We showed the screen earlier, Jim, that the New York Jets threw. Now the reverse. What you want to do is get all the guys on the edge of the defense who like to chase and run plays down from behind. You slow them down by doing those misdirection plays. All of a sudden they go, I better wait here in case it comes back, and it creates big running lanes for the inside people.
It's 2nd down and 7. The Jets have been living at this end. The Packers into the field in this game. Flags are down, and the ball is batted down. And if he was not wearing the cast, Barnett probably would have plucked that one and taken off. Might be offsides on Montgomery.
Defense offside, number 96. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Michael Montgomery, defensive end. I think even the Green Bay Packers, when they talked about the Jets, something that always goes unnoticed. Snap counts. Got to stay on side when Chad Pennington is doing the snap counts. Look what they've done so far in the red zone today. 3 trips, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal.
We saw the graphic earlier on the opening drive. The Packers, the last 27 times now, an opponent has been in the red zone, they come away with scores. 2nd down and 2, and Houston has the first, plowing ahead and running hard today. B.J. Askew, the fullback, throwing a lead block. That goes for 8 more.
Jim, it's everything now for the Packer defense. You're tired from trying to get to the quarterback, and then when they run right at you, you can't lock in and dig in to stop the power.
1st and goal to go, and this time the Packers make a play at the line of scrimmage. Cullen Jenkins, they'll give him a yard, that's all.
The speed of the plays, the play calls, they come in fast. You're on defense, you go, here they come again. The Jets, the coaches for the Jets, they believe their pace of play makes it very hard for teams to stay up with them.
From the 5, a 2nd and goal. Jets trying to strike again, as they have come away with points the first 3 drives of the game. Pennington, pass incomplete. Off the fingertips of Coles. Al Harris defending.
Al Harris all over Lavernius Coles, but does he have his arm where he can't even reach? He had a hold of Lavernius Coles' left arm. He can't even get the other arm over there to try to catch it. But the most important thing though about that play for the New York Jets is just a safe throw by Chad Pennington. Low, outside where only his guy can catch it.
No running back in the game. Spread it out on 3rd and goal. Pennington fires, pass incomplete. And a flag is tossed in. Trying to hit Jericho Cotchery, and Nick Barnett's going to be called for it.
It's shielding. Nick Barnett shields the player.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone, number 56. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
He face guards the receiver. That is illegal. Number 56, the linebacker, just gets in front. You're not allowed to do that. One thing I did notice, the Green Bay Packers, nobody in the middle of the field. So if the quarterback in a situation like that decides to run, there will be nobody there to tackle him.
1st and goal at the 1, and Cedric Houston already with 1 touchdown in this half. Going for another right here, and Houston straight ahead. Appears to be in, but no signal. The Jets are saying, wait a minute, what do we got to do? He's halfway across. And now the signal. Late, but it is, in fact, signaled a touchdown.
Well, you always hear about these late calls. This is definitely a late call. It's because so many people are stacked up and on the ground, and that is a touchdown.
Cedric Houston with 10 carries for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. Inactive much of the year because of a knee injury. And Nugent with another point added. 24-0. The Jets in the 2nd quarter. 4 drives, 4 scores.
Oh, makes you a little jealous. You're indoors. You're indoors. You can have your hot chocolate.
I'm going out there.
Won't be cold.
Going to double dip next week and, I don't know, catch up with Billy Packer. And I haven't seen him since the Final Four. We're going to be there for that UCLA A&M game.
Tell him how much you've missed him.
And I'll see you for the Broncos and Chargers down the road from Anaheim. Here goes Henderson on the return for the Packers to the 30-yard line. Favre and Green Bay. Just a tremendous struggle at home again today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything.
Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report with James and Dan and Shannon and Boomer with scores and highlights. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report. You don't show up for a game here with just any ordinary kind of headwear, any pedestrian kind of look. It's creative. And the Packers from the 29-yard line, down 24. Favre's pass was intended for Henderson. You know, Brett was very optimistic and full of energy on Friday, talking about this team and all the changeover. It is the youngest team in the league. They're starting 3 rookie offensive linemen. Said it's far more optimistic around here than it was a year ago. Much better than last year.
He was also hoping for like the worst weather you could have for a football game. Shoot, we get really, really bad weather. That's just going to help us.
Second down and 10. Fires, and it's incomplete. That was pass to Bubba Franks. It's been a season of milestone. Almost every time he goes out there, there's some sort of new record being reached. The 400th touchdown pass of his career earlier this season. And with postseason factored in, you know, those numbers are just, 233 regular season consecutive starts today. Going back to September the 22nd of 1992 when it all began. 3rd down and 10. Make a move for the first, and that last hit, the one at the very end by Eric Smith, probably kept him just shy. Eric Smith comes up on Ahman Green and pushes him back, denying him. It's 4th and a foot.
And Mike McCarthy does not even hesitate, sends in short yardage unit to go for it on 4th down, which you almost have to do. Here's the hit you were talking about, Jim. It just doesn't allow the pass catcher to go forward. Ahman Green, that extra half yard to get him a 1st down.
You talking about Favre and relishing a bad weather game. You said probably the only quarterback you've ever known of who sits around and hopes for bad weather.
Because he can handle it. He really can. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, and probably Brett Favre and Terry Bradshaw are 2 of the best bad weather throwers I've ever seen in my lifetime. And know about. You know, I followed a lot of games. They can rain, snow, wind, cold. They can throw those spirals down the field. Big play, of course, here for the Green Bay Packers.
From their own 39, 4th and inches. Go wide left, and Ahman Green. And the progress will give him the first. He went off that left side.
Yeah, I think you said it, Jim. Just the extra effort, not giving up on the play, allowed him to get that extra foot, which gives him a 1st down. Because the initial hits are behind the line of scrimmage, but Ahman Green just keeps working and reaches forward to get the 1st down.
Favre throwing long for Driver, and the pass is intercepted by Andre Dyson. Donald Driver appealing, said he was pushed. Favre trying to hook up with a wide receiver for the first time in this game, and he's intercepted.
Well, Brett Favre, you get an aggressive defense where it's just one-on-one on the outside, but what makeup speed by Dyson, and turns at the right time. He sees Donald Driver looking for the football, so he turns, locates it, and then makes the interception. What a play.
Dyson with his 4th pick of the year, which ties him with Kerry, well, actually is the most now on the Jets side. Moves past Kerry Rhodes, who has 3 picks. And the Jets defense with a 2nd takeaway. Just tied Fran Tarkenton on the all-time interception list. with that pick for third most. That's Cedric Houston with 3 more.
It'll be, I'm really curious, 24-0. 4:45 to go in the second quarter. Can you still stay as aggressive as you have been in this game if you're the New York Jets? So I think you can. I think you can still call aggressive play calls. You just got your quarterback, Chad Pennington, managing the game. If anything, maybe he just gets more conservative in his decision making.
2nd and 7, and Washington in the backfield. They're still throwing. And it's Coles with the catch. Ball comes out at the end, but Cotchery is right there. What a combo the Jets are developing here with Coles and Cotchery, both over 100 last week.
And they go unnoticed. Again, the 3 receivers together makes it tough to be real aggressive. The anticipation by Chad Pennington, tremendous. And it is a fumble, but the Jets do recover it on the sideline. But Jim, the Cotchery and Lavernius Coles, we don't talk about it, but everything is there for them to be one of the best tandems in the NFL.
So the recovery by Cotchery back at the 39-yard line. When I first watched it live, I thought probably already down, but no, indeed, it would have been a Green Bay recovery if anyone was in the area. Houston for only 1 yard. E.J. Hawk with the hit. This season by Coles. Well, we've seen Coles and Pennington and the chemistry they have. Second most receptions in the league. Now up over 70 on the season. 4 times over 100 yards.
Cotchery and Coles, they both have a chip on the shoulder. They're what Eric Mangini's looking for. They're tough. They're always going to be that way, and they just fit in with what the Jets are trying to be.
2nd down and 9. Going to be a passing team again, and it's Houston with a little stiff arm, but unable to get untangled from Nick Barnett. Gains 5. You know, the last 3 years, you talk about unheralded, underrated, whatever you want to call it. Coming into this game, Coles and Donald Driver on the field here today, tied for 3rd most in the league, and I defy almost anyone to come up with that.
Yeah.
You know, just you had to sit and compile a list. I don't think you'd have those 2 up there.
Well, listen, they're not playing for teams that are going to the playoffs, winning a lot, but they don't give great sound bites. They don't celebrate like a lot of guys do, and that's why you don't know it.
Out of the backfield, actually, it's over to Cotchery, and he is past the 1st down yardage. Another 5-yard gain. Jets convert on 3rd.
Out of the backfield, something different. Jets keep showing you a lot of different new things.
They reach the 2-minute warning. Total domination day to this point by the New York Jets. Chad Pennington over 200 yards. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms at the 2-minute warning. The Jets had their biggest margin of victory last week of 15.1. They have not been in a game like this all year. Look at this performance. What do you make out of it?
Well, hard to get any games like this in the NFL, but what I make out of it is the Jets continue to get better on both sides of the football, and make no doubt about it, if they can hang on here today, they're going to be part of this playoff run in the NFL.
Well, you look at their schedule. In fact, including this one going in, they had the easiest schedule for all the wild card contenders by a mile. They don't play a team with a winning record. With records as of week 12, if you will, coming into the week. Another 6-yard pass play to Cotchery. In fact, there you look at it. These are, again, the wild card contenders. All the other ones, when you look at their win percentages of the opponent, the rest of the way, the opponents in the end have a winning record, all compiled. The Jets down there with the easiest schedule of all for those wild card teams, wild card playoff hopefuls. They have another 1st down with Baker to the 29. Coming up, we've got the Sprint halftime report with JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. All the latest scores and highlights coming up. Sprint halftime report. The only game the Jets have been in like this, they were on the other end of it, that drubbing down at Jacksonville, 41-0. Pennington picks up again with Cotchery, who's posting big numbers in this half.
You know, Jim, the way the Jets play and what they do, this time as you watch Cotchery catch the football, but their numbers, when you look at what they do, where they rank on offense and defense and rushing defense and passing, all that, nothing jumps out at you because they've had some really lopsided losses, so that ruins the numbers. But the way they play generally to keep it close and to beat you in the fourth quarter. Well, not today. Today it's all going their way. The execution and the planning of each play.
Leon Washington off right tackle, squirts through the hole for another first down. Chris Baker, Brandon Moore, and others helping the Jets move the chains, and a timeout called by New York. 50 seconds to go in the half. Eric Mangini, what a game plan he and his coaching staff put together here, with 324 yards in the first half. And holding the Packers under 100, forcing a couple of takeaways. First down, 17-yard line. Looking to add to the lead, and that's Cotchery with his 8th catch of the game, and over 90 yards in all. And another timeout called by New York. Career high, 8 catches for Cotchery. The Bluebirds are out at Lambeau. Well, in most cases, Phil, you take 21 first downs for a game as Lavernius Coles finds a way to stay warm.
You know, Jim, you look at the receivers for the Jets. They're making all the catches. The wide receivers, tough catches inside. The running backs outside. It's confusion. That's what they're doing to Green Bay's defense.
First and goal, and Houston is hit at the line of scrimmage, but able to plow ahead for 3 yards.
And to answer your question, yes, 21 for a game is really good.
Second and goal to the 1.
Well, now you got to look at the Green Bay Packers. Can they emotionally just stay in the game? That's going to be the hard part for them.
Houston trying to drive through, and one Jet thought he was across, but no signal. A timeout called, though, by New York with 13 seconds to go in the half. You know, the Jets are out of timeouts, and the Packers are down 24, trying to hold off any more here from New York, facing 3rd and goal at the 1. And the cross and the touchdown to Baker.
We've talked about it already today. What the Jets did, they came out in a formation, they shifted the personnel around, then they put somebody in motion, and the Packers lose track of who's covering who. They got the blitz coming. Well, when the Jets change their formation, that blitz has got to change. They did not do that. That's why the receiver is wide open for the touchdown.
Boy, that was Cedric Houston picking up the blitz of Abdul Hodge, just taking him out, leaving Pennington free to fling it to his tight end for another score. 5 drives covering at least 50 yards in this half. Well, here it is, the list of possessions for New York in this game. That first one all the way inside the 10, netting a field goal, and then drives of 51, 83, 70, 77 yards cannot be stopped.
If you didn't tell, I would think I was watching a college football game. All the yards and the coverage, I mean all the yards and touchdowns.
Nugent driving the kick. Henderson. That's Heron with the pickup, and he is knocked down 23-yard line.
Jim, let's go back to the touchdown. Watch the Jets, the shifting they have, where everybody goes. Watch the Green Bay defense. Here's Baker. Now that everything has changed. Oh, and here comes a wide receiver in motion. The blitz starts from the right side. They don't change it over because of the formation change, and that's why Chris Baker is wide open in the back of the end zone. So, confusion. That's what the Jets rely on. It confused the Green Bay Packers. That play and quite a few times today so far.
Look at the Jets defense. They've got 4 players inside the 45-yard line, and the rest of them standing around midfield. 1 rusher. Pass thrown underneath to Herron. Lateral to Driver. And he'll go nowhere. Justin Miller holding on to him, and the half has come to an end. That's the first touch of the game for Donald Driver, and he gets it on a lateral to close out the half. Pennington loves managing a game. That's his favorite thing to do. And boy, has he managed one here at Lambeau Field. That's the end of the first half with the score. The New York Jets 31, the Green Bay Packers nothing. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. The third quarter about to begin on a icy day here at Lambeau Field, where the wind chills are close to 0. And I'm sure it's even a little colder on the Packers side of the field right now.
Yeah, very tough first half for the Green Bay Packers. And in so many ways, Jim, on the field, emotionally, we were here. We talked to them, the players, the coaches. They're upbeat that they're building. This really sets you back to have a first half like this.
Take a look at the first half numbers, which are obviously decidedly one-sided here. And you look at the red zone category, that's 5 times in the red zone with 4 touchdowns and the field goal. So coming out of there every time with points. But the 340 total yards in one half. That is something you seldom see. This game brought to you in high-definition television.
Well, Eric Mangini all week long was trying to tell his team that, okay, it's Lambeau Field, it's Green Bay, it's Brett Favre, but let's get over it. And somehow I think the message got across.
Well, you know, his players were asked early in the week by a lot of the media about the thrill of playing at Lambeau Field with all of its history. And then it dawned on Mangini that maybe to this young, group of kids, maybe they're not all that aware of all the history. So he brought out some of the old NFL films.
Yeah, the Ice Bowl.
With the John Facenda narration. And they got a chance to look back at those days here on the frozen tundra, Lambeau Field. And the Packers will start the second half from the 34-yard line. Here's a little glimpse of what he showed them. The Ice Bowl between the Cowboys and the Packers on New Year's Eve, 1967. Bob Lilly digging in. But Starr able to sneak it across. The goalpost came tumbling down that day at Lambeau Field. That was a 48 below wind chill day here at Lambeau back in 1967. So a balmy 1 degree today. Favre trying to make the move to get away from Thomas and able to at least get an incompletion out of it. Jennings caught it, but out of bounds. And here's one way that you make a little point to your teammates that I'm not going to make a big deal out of the cold weather. PJ Askew in the warm-ups.
Well, I guess it was his way and the Jets' way to show everybody here in Green Bay, big deal. It's not like, the New York Jets play in Miami Beach. That's pretty chilly where they play in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. But it's a mindset. They dealt with it all week. And believe me, that stuff works. It made them stronger and helped them play here today.
Nice piece of running here by Ahman Green, who takes it across the 45. That footage of the Ice Bowl not only was there to educate his Jets troops, but Mangini also thought it was an opportunity to demystify, take away a little of the mystique for his players.
I think that was right, because Jim, if you follow pro football at all, everybody thinks special things about Lambeau.
Eric Martin and on the tackle at the 50 along with Hobson. Another 4 yards. Curly Lambeau. Just everywhere you look.
The new stadium, yes. The stadium's been rebuilt. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it's spectacular. The facilities here have to rank up there. I mean, I'm not sure there's anything any better. And Green had some nice runs. Remember that one drive that led to a missed field goal from 40 yards. He was able to rip off a 35-yard gain. That one goes for 5 more. 73 yards on the game, 9 yards rush by Ahman Green. This is the atrium when you enter here. But the memories, the legends, everywhere you go here, not just at the stadium, but even at the local restaurants, the Packer pride, always on display. 3rd and 1, Morency is the tailback. So Packers try to come up with something here on the first drive of the 3rd quarter. Morency tiptoes past the traffic. Boy, he was hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's a nifty piece of running for 2 yards and the first.
The Green Bay Packers coming out here in the second half. This is an angry drive. Just to show the Jets and everybody and themselves how mad they are about what went on in the first half. So a lot of quick snaps from Brett Favre, a lot of straight ahead running, just try to get this game changed around by being physical.
That's the first time they've converted on 3rd down today. Morency earns another carry. Ellis wraps them up after 2. Their first half possessions, they were moving it the first time they touched it, but on the 5th play, Brian Thomas stripped Favre of the football and Robertson recovered. It led to a touchdown. Then a punt, a missed field goal, a pick, and then one play before the half. Second down and 8. Short drop, open man, Jennings, rookie from Western Michigan. Sacked a yard shy of the first. And Jennings, bright prospect, 2nd round selection he was, picks up 7.
He is, Jim, and you take Jennings, a 2nd round pick, put him on the other side of Donald Driver, and they got the quarterback. They know they can throw it with Brett Favre, but they got receivers here too that can do it all. They can go down the field. They make the tough catches over the middle.
That was the first catch by a wide receiver on the Packers side today. And on 3rd and 1, they're trying to throw for it. And the pass incomplete, no doubt going for it on 4th down. That was Rashad Moore chasing Favre and forcing the incompletion.
Well, Brett Favre was hoping there was nothing to the right. He was hoping his blocker to the left was going to release out into the pattern. He never did because they're worried about pass protection. Nowhere to go with the football. Nobody open.
Ahman Green is the tailback. Myrie, his fullback. And they'll run for that first. Trying to get it there on 2nd effort. And it looks like he has enough. He's got the first down, and the Packers continue this opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Green Bay Packers on offense, trying to find some ways to move this football. Mike McCarthy, the head coach, he calls the plays, and he even admitted to us, Jim, when we talked to him, he goes, I'd like to push it a little more. In other words, to be more aggressive, to throw it down the field, to be wide open. But Jim, you said it, 3 rookie offensive linemen. Hard to be wide open when you have 3 rookies up front.
On 1st down, looking right, now throwing left. It's Morency. And he's able to get away from a hard hit and take it to the 20-yard line. David Barrett came up on him. Quite a collision, but he broke free. And Brad Castle was the second to get to him. Broke away from him as well.
Morency is showing a sense of urgency, and just the way he's playing, you can see it, the attitude, and just trying to deliver the punishment.
So 1st down, and it's Morency for 3 yards. Were you trying to rhyme there a moment ago? The Morency and urgency, pretty Clever stuff. Morency, though, picked up in a trade early in the season.
See, Jim, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't major in, writing poetry at Morehead State. That was one of the majors I didn't have. But
you change that major every week. But Morency was property of the Houston Texans, drafted out of Oklahoma State. And Mike Sherman, who was the head coach here last year, went down to Houston as an assistant to Gary Kubiak. And he liked what he had seen out of Samkon Gatto up here in Green Bay, so they made a running back trade. Gatto for Morency. And that pass almost a hookup with Donald Driver, as the Packers at this point have their deepest penetration of the game.
Donald Driver has the speed. We talked about it. The receivers crossed, and you see why Donald Driver's wide open. And Brett Favre, can anybody in the NFL be more accurate and more dynamic throwing, win off balance? The answer is not even close. But that time, the throw was a little too far away from Donald Driver.
It's 3rd and 7. Herron. And he's only to the 16. Now, they're going to bring out the field goal team just to get some points on the board. Remember, they were shut out their last home game. The crowd doesn't like this decision at all. There have been 6 teams this year who have been shut out at home in all the games played. 2 of them belong to the Packers.
Well, I think we were telling all the Jet players, they were asking us about Lambeau Field, and we were telling them what was so unique. And what did we say? You never hear the fans boo.
Yeah, they're going to say 34-yard try, and the Packers are on the board. And most of the crowd stands. Not them, but many are. Which is the greatest Super Bowl team of all time? You can log on to America's Game on NFL.com and vote for your choice. Your choice. Why don't you cast a vote at NFL.com. Packers pick up 4 first downs on that drive after managing only 6 the entire first half. And the clever headgear everywhere you go.
What's that, a Green Bay skunk?
Well, the Jets had the skunk game going.
Had it working.
Jets offensive attack is as ambitious as it was in that first half. It was not needing to be at 31-3, and it's Miller caught by the shoulder pads by the kicker Dave Rayner. A 44-yard return by the best in the league, and Leon Washington helped clear him with the block. Look at the kicker make the play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Volkswagen, plug in your custom first act guitar and make your V-dub rock. And by Warner Brothers' new motion picture Blood Diamond, in theaters Friday, December 8th.
Tonight on CBS, a cop's secret will cost him everything. Don't miss a new episode of Cold Case tonight on America's #1 network. And the first snap of the second half for Pennington and the Jets from the 47. Going with the deep ball right away. McCarron's, and the pass is intercepted. That's Charles Woodson, and a takeaway for the Packers.
That's what you've been, if you follow the Packers, you've been seeing a lot of this in the last few weeks. Charles Woodson, the speed has come back, and he sees the receiver look for the football. He turns his head exactly at the right time and makes the catch.
Former Raider, former Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan. Still a little bit adjustment here to look at Woodson in a Green Bay Packers uniform. It's not exactly where you thought he would end up, is it?
That's right, it's not. But Mike McCarthy talked about him too, that he's just back in the swing of being a good player again.
Well, the Packers come out with a screen and the hook up to Green, and that's good for a first down. Near the 29-yard line, goes for 17.
I said during the commercial to you that really the only way the Packers can get back into this game, they need some big turnovers. Well, I don't know if that was it was a turnover, but was it big? Well, it's not a killer because it happened so deep in Packer territory, but the crowd, the emotion, it's back in the Packers right now.
Right at the 30. We'll go with Green. And he's grabbed low by Hobson and up high by Ellis. 2 yards. This rebuilding effort, which they really kind of took care of in one draft and one free agent class, if you will, the changeover in 1 year, it's pretty remarkable. But you could tell by the type of player that Coach McCarthy's brought in here what he's looking to do in the future. Go big.
Go big. You're in Green Bay. It gets cold. And in the NFL, what did he say? Little guys have a tendency to get hurt. Big guys just keep plugging along. And that's what he wants up here, a big physical team.
On the slant, Driver ridden down by Poteet. And it's good for a first down. That is Driver's first catch of the game. And we've got a Jet player down, and it's Sean Ellis.
Brett Favre off balance, sidearm throw, right on target this time, but of more concern to the Jets is Sean Ellis limping off the field.
Timeout on the field off the injury. What happened to Sean Ellis?
Sean Ellis, number 92. It's a quick pass. He jumps up, and then Maul, the right tackle, as defensive linemen raise their arms, they're taught. Well, hit him in the midsection and knock him down. Good job by the right tackle.
Ellis, who made his NFL debut here as a rookie in 2000 with a sack and a strip of Favre. Play action fake. Brett looking long, and he lofts it for Driver. And Poteet able to make up ground to get there to bat it away.
Just good work by the Jets secondary. Watch as the receivers cross. Now watch Hank Poteet. He lets his guy go, passes him on, and starts looking, well, who can I pick up? And it's Donald Driver coming his way. So that's what you call teamwork, communication, and knowing what your job is in the defense.
Hank Poteet, former Patriot, Mangini certainly was familiar with. Busted play, and Favre trying to make something of it. Freezes the defense with the fake. And he goes out of bounds in Jets territory near a first. We've got another update. Back to JB in the studio.
Hey, Jim and Phil, a Phillip Rivers turnover, a fumble exactly gave Buffalo an opportunity to score. JP Lossman hooking up with the tight end Robert Royal, 5-yard strike. It is now a 10-point game, 17-7. San Diego back to Jim and Phil.
Yep, that just in the opening minutes of the third quarter there in Orchard Park. Thank you, JB. And what happened here?
Brett Favre just, it's a little wider than I thought. But the good thing he did, when he came around, he faked like he was going to throw it and made the defense drop back so he could run.
3rd down and 1. And Green scoots ahead, still scratching his way for a first down. Picks up 7.
We talked about it, Jim. We just said, Ahman Green still has it. Knocked off his feet, and look at the balance, just keeps going forward. Keeps his feet moving. Really tremendous job. And Ahman Green still has a lot of power and time left in those legs. And when this offensive line, it's athletic. We talked about it, it's young. He is going to get he's going to have some big games in the future because of this offensive line.
First down from the Jets 42. Back to Green. Green being chased. Able to spin away initially from Dave Ball, and Eric Coleman finishes him off. A gain of 4 yards. You know, Ahman Green from 2000 to 2004 had just a spectacular stretch. He's second all-time rushing yards, Green Bay history. There you see it in that 5-year run. 6,800 yards. Last year lost to injury, and there were many who thought he would never make his way back to the way he formerly performed. But listening to Coach McCarthy and his admiration for the efforts made by Green, you're seeing the product of that out here today. Second down, 6. Protected. Favre looks right. And Bubba Franks fails to hold on to it. It was Matt Chatham over there defending.
I think you're right. You know, Jim, you talk about Ahman Green, to go back. How much did you hear about it? He came here from Seattle, where he had some troubles fumbling, and that's all you ever heard when he played. No matter what he did, the perception was, well, he's fumbled. But he's played so well and corrected that problem that now it's not talked about until somebody like me brings it up. But
I'd forgotten it already.
That's right.
3rd and 6. He turned it around here. Holmgren, the guy brought him. And there's Herron. About 2 yards shy. I want to amplify that stretch, that 5-year stretch. You know, he was #1 in the league in that 5 years, all total. 6,800 yards. And total yards. Such a threat out of the backfield in the passing game. 4th and 1. And McCarthy again is going to go for it. Down 31-3. He's already 2 for 2 today in 4th down conversions. Trying to get it through the air. The pass incomplete. And the Jets will take over. Well, 3:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Jets have had 1 snap in this half. The only time today they did not drive for a score. They'll get the ball back now after getting it over on downs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Wrangler, makers of Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles.
That offensive line of the Packers getting some instruction. The learning process, tough learning lesson here today as the Jets climb on them early. This will be, again, only the 2nd play of the half. They went with the long ball on their only other play and got intercepted. Houston. And he'll get back a yard. He had quite a first half of his own. We talk about young players, and you know, you got Hawk over there for the Packers, and he looks like the right selection for them with that high pick that they had. And Mangold, the 1st rounder for the Jets. The Brickishaw over there on the left side. All looking like pretty heady choices now, aren't they?
They're looking like exceptional choices, Jim. Something you can build on with your football team.
Almost intercepted. That was Ryan. Nope, that was Corey Williams. Or was it Ryan Pickett? Ryan Pickett, look at this. He couldn't quite pick it. It was right there to be taken.
Short passes. When the quarterback takes short drops in this league now, I almost go, you can't even get the ball off because defensive linemen read it and knock it down.
3rd and 12, heat on Pennington, and he is intercepted. The floater is picked off. Patrick Dindy has it. And Pennington was walloped. Baja Biamila with the hit that forces the 2nd pick of this quarter.
The play before, Jim, when he went to throw the ball, Chad Pennington had pressure on him. So Green Bay, hey, they've seen enough passes. They finally got in rhythm with the New York Jets offensive line, and they're starting to get some penetration and hits on Chad Pennington.
back comes Favre, getting another chance from the 37. And it's Ahman Green working the middle for 4 yards.
You think, I know it's 31-3. Green Bay just goes, get a score. Make the Jets keep playing. Because you probably are going to get at least 3 possessions in the 4th quarter. So if the Packers score 31-10, 3 more chances with the ball, well, it keeps your hopes alive.
And after what happened in Tennessee last week in the 4th quarter with the Giants, you know, you start looking at new math on all of this. A good hook up here for the Packers. Donald Driver to the 20.
Donald Driver over the middle. He told us you just don't worry about it. You go in there, you pace yourself, you find the open spot, and then you catch the ball. But also, Brett Favre, the window is small, and he drives it in there to the open receiver.
He has been able to rip it in there to Driver through the years enough times to break 5 different bones in his hands off the passes.
You could see the spin on the ball from Brett Favre, so said a lot, but still plenty of physical abilities left in him.
1st and 10, trying to go back to Driver. Donald Driver has playing opposite on the wide receiver side is Greg Jennings. We had a chance to talk to those two together yesterday, and it's kind of neat because Donald Driver was reflecting on how he learned so much from Antonio Freeman, who's the honorary captain here today, and Robert Brooks when he was just a young kid. Now he's passing it on to Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings says, man, I'm a sponge. Learning from him, learning from Brett Favre.
Second down from the 20. And Favre to the end zone, and the pass is pulled in for the touchdown. And it's Donald Driver.
Jump up in the stands, get a little love. That's what you're doing. That was a terrific throw by Brett Favre. Knowing the abilities of Donald Driver in the slot, going up the field against Hank Poteet, and the football is thrown just hard enough where the defender, Hank Poteet, by the time he turns around, it's already over the top into the hands of Donald Driver.
And now Rayner adds one more. That's Driver's first touchdown at home since last November. He had one last week at Seattle. And the Packers with 10 points in the quarter, finally stirring some excitement here in Green Bay. Donald Driver with a touchdown for the 2nd straight week. And for your information, that's 411, 411 touchdown passes. In Favre's career, they tried for the onside kick. The ball is free, and the Packers have it. Jason Hunter with the recovery.
You were talking to Eric Mangini last night about onside kicks. It did not catch the Jets by a surprise. The big question is, who touched it before it went 10 yards?
And out of the scrum, it's Hunter with the football, and the Jets were pointing. I think they believe that that ball may have been touched by a Packer first before the 10 yards. Well, I don't know. That was Dindy in there, and over the top of Dindy was Anthony Schlegel, Ohio State teammate and fellow linebacker of A.J. Hawk. It may have been Schlegel who would have touched it first. It's awfully close. And it has to be Schlegel to touch it first for it to be a Packer recovery, as the ball had not traveled 10 yards.
Possession of the football. If it goes against the Jets, the call on the field, they could challenge.
I think whatever they decide here, the other side is going to challenge it. Now, who touches? Is it Dindy or Schlegel? If it's 56.
Oh, Schlegel, good eyes.
Okay, Schlegel touched it first, so
it doesn't
it's
matter.
A live ball, and it's a
football.
Packer recovery.
And I think that when you watch it, Jim, that replay pretty conclusive that Schlegel got his left hand in there and hit the football. And you go, well, why did he do it? Well, I think that it looks like it's right on the 10-yard mark, too. So he was being proactive, trying to make sure that the defender couldn't get it first.
I think it was a little short of the 10 yards.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think it's about a yard, half a yard shy. Of course, from that angle, you can't tell exactly. But
it's so close, you can't take that chance.
That's right.
The ruling on the field is that the kicking team was the first to touch the ball. They recovered the ball, therefore it's a 5-yard penalty for an illegal, for a kick. We'll re-kick the ball.
We'll get ready to go under the hood there, Mr. Nimmers. And there is the challenge flag. And they're seeing it up here on the giant screen. You can hear the reaction.
Yeah, he's trying to tell him, look up on the screen. Well,
he says, hey, you can go ahead over there and take a look at it. I'm going to take my offensive unit out on the field, and we're going to start to talk and huddle.
Now, so the call has gone in the Jets' favor. You tell me, did you see enough that turns this over?
Well, first question, did anyone touch it right there? Was that ball touched at that point? No. That was Tracy White that came very close first. It skipped right over him, and then it appeared to touch the left paw of Anthony Schlegel. And there is Schlegel, third rounder out of Ohio State, where he lined up alongside A.J. Hawk. You have all of these connections in this game today. You got Schlegel and Hawk reunited. You got Hawk and Mangold, not to forget Mike Nugent, because those three, Nugent, Mangold, and Hawk, all grew up in Centerville, Ohio. You know, just before the 40. And this is the one that I think adds the most clarity. Right there.
Hey, watch. So even the players on the field, they're not sure what went on, so they look up, they see the replay, and the Packers, they're so confident their offense is on the field waiting for this decision to be made.
Let's just think about this for a moment. Let's assume that they end up seeing it the way, you know, we're interpreting it right now. Green Bay has the football in that case at 31-10.
Reviewing the play, number 56 of the Jets reached around the defender, touched the ball first. Therefore, the recovery by Green Bay is legal. It'll be 1st and 10 for Green Bay.
I mean, we suddenly got some scenarios here.
We do, Jim. 3 scores down, still in the third quarter. I talked about the Green Bay Packers might get 3 more possessions, maybe 4. And another good shot. Anthony Schlegel, you were right, came over the top, touches it first.
And again, from that other high angle, had Schlegel not reached around, but it's so close, you can't stop the momentum. But it looked like Dindy was in position to touch the football before the 10 yards. And in that case, it would have been a penalty, and the Jets would have had the football. So now, far from the 33. Sean Ellis is back in there for the Jets. Look at Eric Barton knocking noses for no gain.
Well, you can feel the tension has come back into this game. That is for sure. The Jets, sensing what the situation is, You have to be aggressive now with your play calls on defense to stop this momentum. And you go, wow, come on, it's 31-10. Well, remember, they're coming from 31-0.
Had 9 first downs in this quarter, talking about the Packers. None for the Jets. And Favre's throw batted down by David Barrett. It was thrown to Greg Jennings.
It was nice play by David Barrett. Waits, and at the last second just reaches around with that right hand and knocks it down. That was another terrific throw by Brett Favre, but just tremendous coverage by Barrett.
Tight spiral of Brett Favre, a kid from small town in Mississippi who really was an option quarterback in high school. In his senior year, threw for 400 yards.
400 yards
for the season. And now look at his...
You say, well, the coach, he didn't know what he was doing. It was his father.
3rd and 10, big play here. Packers, and it's wide of the mark, trying to connect with Ruvell Martin.
Good stand by the Jets. They needed that for their team. The defense.
Kind of surprising, really, with the way that the momentum had shifted. And then just a 3 and out. Go quietly. Not what you expected. John Ryan is back out for the 2nd time in this game. Delivered by Poteet. Sidesteps the first tackle, and the flag is down as Poteet dances around. And that's a pretty good return. But all likelihood, most of it's coming back. Poteet getting a chance to put his hands on the ball. Again, Tim Dwight on injured reserve, so they had Leon Washington back. Poteet was back to assist. And that was a pretty feisty effort.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 56. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Jets.
Well, Anthony Schlegel saying, hey, my number's been called enough times by Larry Nimmers. And that was the infraction. They even hit him with the flag.
Well, he's been inactive for most of the season, Jim, so he's excited to get out here. Eric Mangini said he's working really hard in practice. Mike Westhoff, special teams coordinator, doesn't want to hear it.
So 8 seconds to go in a 3rd quarter that's been one-sided for the Packers. Houston could have been hit for a loss. He's able to break away and pick up 9 yards. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Jets 31, the Packers 10. We'll return to Lambeau after this message and a word from your local station. And the 4th quarter about to begin here in Green Bay. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms on hand. And the Jets able to put one positive play up for the offense. Their first really positive play of the 2nd half. A 9-yard run by Houston sets up a 2nd down and 1 to open the 4th. And it's back to Houston. He's taken off. Houston inside the 50. Grabbed by the ankles at the 40-yard line by Nick Collins. That's a 31-yard gain.
We saw it on the first down run. We'll see it again here. Look at the blitz by the Packers. They're trying to sell out to stop the Jets from getting a first down. When you do that, somebody doesn't fit where they're supposed to fit. It's not in that right spot, and that creates a big play for the New York Jets.
Houston now has a chance to have a 100-yard day, although he'll sit out this play with Leon Washington in the backfield. Boy, everyone's sealing off that inside pressure by the Packers, including Brad Smith with a big block. Now a little toss, and Cotchery spinning around for a short gain. We'll give him 6 yards. I'm wondering, you know, the way Cedric Houston now healthy and playing, the Jets have been rotating running backs all season long. Maybe they have found the guy. Take nothing away from Leon Washington.
No, I'm shaking my head because you know it's just not going to happen. Eric Mangini, what did he tell you last night? I'm anointing no one. And it's almost the right thing to do because he wants to keep them on edge, and he wants these runners to know, sell out every time that you have the football. Jim, we hear it from a lot of head coaches. 2 or 3 running backs, get the tough yards.
And keep them fresh. Keep them coming in with fresh legs. It'll be 3rd and about 2 after that run by Washington. In that first half, the Jets had 22 first downs and 340 yards. Third quarter, no first downs, and the only reason they ended up in positive numbers for total yards was the last play of the quarter was a 9-yard run by Houston. Actually, that last one was good enough for a first. Washington picks up the first at the 30. Washington trying to get outside, and A.J. Hawk closes in on him after 3. It's a doubleheader day coming your way next Sunday on CBS. Early mini, we'll see Baltimore and Kansas City, plus other regional action. Most of the nation's going to see matchup number 2 between the Broncos and the Chargers, and it all starts at noon with JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer with the NFL Today next Sunday, a doubleheader day on CBS.
I don't know what Buffalo, they were coming back on San Diego, but all of a sudden that game next week, Jets and Buffalo, that could be huge.
Yeah, the Bills have moved within 3 after being down 17-zip. Flags everywhere as the pass comes over to Brad Smith. And he is knocked down awkwardly by Collins near the first down, but we'll check the flag.
Defense, offside, number 96. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So the pass to Smith picks up the first, and there's McCarthy, who was a long-time assistant around the league, 13 years in all, including a pretty significant stint down in New Orleans as their offensive coordinator during some pretty bountiful years, piling up yardage with Aaron Brooks and Deuce McAllister. Went to the 49ers last year, 1-year run as the offensive coordinator there. He was, for a 5-day period, the youngest head coach in the league when he got the job back in January. Then Mangini was hired. And later Sean Payton also younger. Here's Washington. Washington can't be stopped until he's in the end zone. Leon Washington running behind Brandon Moore, and that's a 20-yard run to the end zone.
Well, what it is, a little deception. Looks like a sprint to the right by Chad Pennington, and it's the draw back to the left. And Leon Washington, again, this is what he could be really good at, Jim. Draw plays, specialty plays, to use his quickness and speed to take advantage of a little misdirection by the offense.
And this is precisely why I would never suggest that one guy could be the running back here with the Jets. Pretty good 2-back combo today, though, isn't it? This kid's been something else this season. Leon Washington, already with a couple of 100-yard games this year. This time a 20-yard run and a touchdown. Well, there is Leon Washington, who grew up just a few blocks from Alltel Stadium down in Jacksonville. Went back there this year. It was a dreadful day for the Jets, although the rookie ran for over 100 yards in a stadium where he used to work as a vendor as a young kid. Say this Jets performance, they've now scored more points than they have in any game this year, and the Patriots are being pushed to the limit. It's a shocker up in Foxborough at the moment. And the Packers with the run back, Herron to about the 34-yard line. We're on track. Super Bowl 41 down Miami way in South Florida, where Green Bay and Oakland met in Super Bowl II. Lombardi's gang. You saw the pass play to Boyd Dowler. Herb Adderley had a pick and a run back, and Vince Lombardi closed out his incredible career with that win, Super Bowl II. 63 days to go until they all battle for the Lombardi Trophy on CBS, February the 4th. fingertips of Ahman Green. The Lions and the Patriots are in the fourth quarter, and the Lions are inside the 10, we understand, with an 18-13 lead. You've got that kid Mike Furry, who was a converted defensive back, now a wide receiver, with 9 catches, 123 yards today. That's important because suddenly people think the Jets are only talking wild card prospects. This could be a 1-game differential at the end of the day. Favre, second down and 10. It's going to run. And that's Sean Ellis, a little gimpy still from that earlier injury in the third quarter. And Favre has 11 yards and a first down. Of course, the Jets and the Patriots have already played their 2 games this year, with each team winning on the other's home field. And you look at the AFC overall playoff picture, in Indianapolis again, its tilt with Tennessee, much like the first one, is pretty nip and tuck as well, with Tennessee giving them a big fight, leading. So many teams in that playoff picture. Morency has another first down for Green Bay.
On the tackle.
Brett Favre, defense drops back, throws it short. And you get all the body language once he throws the football. He can move around more after a pitch than anybody I've ever seen. But the Jets, they don't mind if they march down the field as long as it takes time and quite a few plays.
Morency, able to get away from the first Jet defender who snuck up there, Eric Coleman. And the Packers are moving the football. It's interesting, you admire so much Favre's physical abilities. And to ask him this week, as we did, the quarterbacks he most admired, most physically gifted quarterbacks he ever saw play. You see Morency picking up big chunks, 18 yards. And he really narrowed it down to 3.
Three in his hair that he is what? John Elway was one. Our man, Dan Marino, who we work with in CBS. And the third was
Steve Young. Timeout called by the Jets.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Zales, the Diamond Store, Izod, and by Dell. We don't make technology for just anyone. We make it for only one. You, Dell, purely you.
All right, down 38-10 here, the home fans.
You got to celebrate when you wear that outfit.
You better be doing something.
Sometimes a man likes to wear tight, stretchy pants. Right? Forget about him. How'd you like to be the guy that's sitting behind him? That's what I think about.
Gotta keep moving when you're wearing an outfit like that. And that's Green. Boy, he stacked up for a loss, it appeared, and he's still galloping down to the 10-yard line. Broke away from Eric Smith and Victor Hobson and collects 15 yards. He's over 100.
Yeah, the Jets are trying to be aggressive on defense. They want to end this game and get it over with completely. So when you're over aggressive, Ahman Green, we've talked about it, terrific runner, dynamic, breaks those tackles.
Hobson got a hand on it as Favre was working the middle with Ahman Green.
You know, Brett Favre, you interceptions, he takes chances down the field because he knows he has the arm to make the big plays. But I've noticed over his career he's thrown a lot of interceptions near the line of scrimmage. When you throw those short passes over the middle of the field, you can't always see all the defenders. Balls get tipped. That causes a lot of interceptions too.
Stack the right side on second down and 10. And rolling right. Favre looking now, directing and throwing. And there he is, almost intercepted. That was Kerry Rhodes with his hands on it.
When you throw a football, you don't look at the receivers. Brett Favre sees Donald Driver cut back the other way. But anytime you throw, NFL quarterbacks, you look at the defenders and you throw away from them. That time when he locked in on the receiver, he couldn't see Kerry Rhodes. That's why it was almost intercepted.
Kerry Rhodes, a quarterback in high school down Alabama way. He was a one-way guy, too. Didn't play DB like a lot of two-way players do in high school, like a lot of kids do. He loved to mimic Brett Favre. Converted once he went to college at Louisville. To the defensive side. And knocked away by Miller. It was intended for Jennings. And everyone here at Lambeau thought that was early contact.
Well, there was a lot of contact on this play. To the outside. Justin Miller comes in, goes up to the back, on the back of the receiver, Jennings.
And the Packers on fourth down will go for it. Had he even caught it, he was on his way down anyway. Still would have been a fourth down to come. So they can get a first at the 1. And there they call timeout just before the play clock expires. Timeout Packers with a fourth down play on the way. Back with the fourth down play on the way for Green Bay from the Jets 11. Eric Mangini's team, absolute dominance that first half. Leading 31-0 at halftime. Barr throws off his back foot and it's incomplete. Just off the fingertips of Donald Driver. And Eric Coleman on the coverage.
Well, the Jets, they have 3 defenders covering 2 receivers to the top. So it's just tough for somebody to get open. Donald Driver wants pass interference. Hank Poteet never looks at Brett Favre, has his hands on Driver. But it really wasn't going to make a difference. The throw was so high, I don't think Donald Driver could have got to it.
So the Jets now take over at the 11. With Houston in the backfield. This play is brought to a stop.
False start, offense number 5-yard penalty, still first down.
When this game ends, we'll be going back to the studio in New York for the Subway postgame show with JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer with a full recap of all the early games and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame show.
First and 15 from the 6.
The Jets will do some shifting around, you got to think. Houston back around. The ball is at the 6-yard line. And that's Houston. Into a wall and a loss of a yard. Papinga with first one to get to him. Here's the Jets' remaining schedule. Hosting Buffalo next week, then at Minnesota, at Miami, and ending with a game with the Raiders.
We talked about, hey, what a schedule they got. Now you think about it. Buffalo in a tight game with San Diego, at Minnesota. It's tough to run for any yardage against them. And Miami tough.
It's Houston catching the pass, and he lost his footing at the 13-yard line. Again, with the Lions leading the Patriots, there's still a lot of time left in that game, 21-13. But if the Patriots and the Jets tighten up here at the end of the day, be down to a game.
3rd and 8 from the 13.
We'll get back to that in a minute. 3rd down in the meantime for the Jets. 3rd and 8. And finally, a timeout called by Pennington. Half a quarter to go at Lambeau.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Papa John's Pizza. Order online at papajohns.com. And by GMC. We are professional grade.
The skies have cleared. The flurries have come and gone. And the Jets have led throughout. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here in Green Bay. 3rd and 8 for the New York Jets from their own 13-yard line. And Leon Washington manages 1 yard before he catches up with Brady Papinga. The Packers will get the football back. An Australian punter coming out. Ben Graham. This Jets punt return coverage team has not allowed a return this year of 15 yards. Nothing as long as 15. That's pretty amazing.
Everybody we talk to when we do New York Jet games, they always bring up special teams first, how good they are.
It's Greg Jennings, though. He'd like to challenge that. He waits. Patience. And it's a short return. 51-yard punt, 7-yard return. Mangini used to scout Ben Graham.
Last night, he says one thing he had to do when he was coaching that team, he had to bench his brother, and it's his older brother, because it didn't go over real well.
When you said that's when that's when you know you're born to be a coach.
Yeah, that's right.
You sit your brother down. All right, Favre way down the field, waiting for Driver. No need to question Mr. Favre's arm strength.
Now, and he likes doing it. You know, Jim, it's like a golfer, really. A golfer who can use his driver and hit it a long way, well, they can't wait to do it. And Brett Favre is kind of the same way when it comes to throwing the football. If it was up to him, they'd make you throw it at least 15 yards every play. So when he gets those opportunities, he's going to try to take advantage of them. See the numbers for both quarterbacks. Chad Pennington, very strong day, and Brett Favre, it's been tough.
2nd down and 10. That's Martin. And wrapped up by Eric Coleman. Here is the lineup tonight on CBS. It all begins with 60 Minutes. The man with the idea that is changing the way millions of Americans are watching movies in their own homes. We'll have that story, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, Without a Trace on America's most watched network. First catch of the day for Martin. 3rd down and 5 for the Packers. And they collapse on the quarterback and bring Favre down at the 40-yard line. Brian Thomas and Sean Ellis, the two ends.
Yeah, just nothing for Brett Favre to do on the last play. Coverage down the field, the Jets all over it. Nowhere to throw it. You make a quarterback hold it long enough, well, the pass rush gets to him.
So they share the sack. Thomas with a sack and a half in this game and forcing a fumble. And a new contract for Brian Thomas.
That's right, new 5-year extension this past week.
4th down, and there's an interception. It's Kerry Rhodes. He intercepts one of his boyhood idols. Kerry Rhodes.
Favre's pass intercepted by
Quite
Rhodes.
a season out there at safety for the New York Jets. We talked about how he was a quarterback. Even went to Louisville to play quarterback and switched after 2 years there. He was very despondent about it when they told him.
Wanted to transfer because he wanted to keep playing quarterback, but his dad said, nope, you hang in there. And it wasn't an easy transition from quarterback to safety. Such a different mindset, but after about 2 years of work, well, I'd say it's worked out pretty good, wouldn't you, Jim?
Oh, absolutely. His dad, Jerome, said, son, stick it out. This may be a good thing, and it has been.
What did we say last night? I said, it's a good thing your father gave you some great advice, didn't he? Fathers know best.
It's Houston moving the pile to the 42. And a flag is thrown in. Well, Rhodes coming into the game had 3 interceptions, so he's just had his 4th. Last week he had a pick that set up a touchdown. He had quite a game, big game in that win up at Foxborough.
You know, I really believe playing safety, the fact that he played quarterback through high school for a couple years.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 56, striking opponent 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
And Jim, being an ex-quarterback, your safety, it helps because you understand what teams are doing, what the idea is going on in the offense's mind, and you take advantage of that. And also, I'd say to him or to his mother that he looked good yet last night, didn't he? Nice suit.
You love that suit. You told him at least 3 times.
And what did our producer, Lance Barrow, he said to us as it's over, he goes, how'd you think I'd look in that suit? I think you'd look good. It was beautiful blue pinstripe, and there's team all fashion.
All-fashioned team.
All fashion, that's it.
Might take all AFC too. That's Houston squeezing through there. He may have his 100 yards. Gives him 5 on that carry. And yes, indeed, he's over 100.
The season's, it's getting down to the end now. 4 weeks to go after today. The electricity, the tension, the excitement, it will be there now for the New York Jets. It's automatically there. The doldrums of here's another week, it's over. Because you're thinking about, let's keep it going, let's make the playoffs.
And down at 5. Sneaking up. Houston still able to pick up another 4 yards.
And you know, Jim, for the Green Bay Packers, it's all about, all right, let's hang in there. 4 more weeks to get better because that will help us next year. Guys like A.J. Hawk, the offensive line, all the young guys. Mike McCarthy, you know, will be in his 2nd year. That's going to help him tremendously too.
A.J. talking about how Ohio State prepared him even more than he thought it would for the NFL. He said being in Green Bay, too, is not a whole lot different for me than being in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, college atmosphere up here.
And doesn't even come close. They go inside with Askew for no gain.
Well, Green Bay, they know the situation. Scores lopsided. Running situation, sell out. And the Jets, they'll go for it on 4th down. Because you don't want to kick a field goal. That's not sportsmanlike, so you try to run it, get the 1st down, and end the football game.
Fourth and a yard to go as we draw near the 2-minute warning. Way into it, and he's still going to be stopped, I believe, a little bit short. Yes, indeed. Barnett coming up. Manuel as well. Looks like they may call for a measurement.
Yep, it does look just a little short of the 1st down.
You take these 2 coaches again. Both of them first-year head coaches, 2 of the 3 youngest in the league, with Mangini being the youngest. And you think about the college football powerhouse programs that you would think would be developing this coaching talent. And there is a man out of Baker University on one side, McCarthy, and Wesleyan College on the other for Mangini.
That is amazing. I think you brought this up, some of the head coaches, the small schools they come from. The Eastern Illinois coaches, Mike Shanahan.
3 of them.
3 of them in the NFL. Hard to believe.
Sean Payton, Brad Childress.
Yeah.
So Favre gets to come out one more time with 2:15 left in the game. Bengals going to run. Hornsey. And Vilma pushing him back. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Well, the Jets just grabbed this game by the throat in the first half, riding it out now with a 38-10 lead, 2 minutes left. We're back. The Subway postgame show, though, just minutes away. We'll send it back to JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer with all the scores, highlights, recaps. Here, Week 13, early action. Favre running, and the third time he's picked up a big chunk of yardage, and he got hit on the head. And there was no flag. Tell you what, he took a vicious whack to the back of the head.
Not only that, when he went to slide.
Oh, from his own player.
From
Jennings.
I thought when he slid, going down, his leg kind of got caught, his left leg, and he was limping a little bit, but he seems to be okay.
That's Herron out of the backfield, stepping out near the first. Of course, that maybe leads you to this thought at 38-10. Why don't you just put Todd Bouman in the game right now instead of exposing Brett Favre this late in the game that you can't win?
Yeah, you know, it's a good question, and I think you're right. Usually I say, look, you start the game, you finish it. It's not college and high school where we substitute, but it's out of hand, and I would take him out.
And you look cold.
Yeah, I am cold. I am definitely not ready for the cold weather yet, but this is a good start. Got me going, that's for sure.
Minute 20 remaining. Completion. And that is another rookie, Chris Francis, with the catch. Rookie out of UTEP. As you look at the AFC East standings, that New England game, Patriots drove it down the field, touchdown, and the 2-point try ties it. So that one, interesting things going there in Foxborough. Herron on the 9 yards. And Tennessee has beaten Indianapolis. How about that? Subway post-game show. You'll see how it finished. And it's a long field goal, folks. A 60-yarder wins it for Baronis. How about that? It's not even the longest field goal to win a game at the end of the year this year. Remember, Matt Bryant had the 62-yarder.
Sure.
For Tampa. The ball knocking that one down. But that means the Colts, and assuming now that the Chargers, who have a 10-point lead over Buffalo, if they go on and win this game, the Colts and the Chargers suddenly have identical records, although the Colts, if it ended up that way at the end of the year, have the better of it right now because of a better conference record.
Well, Jim, 4 weeks to go.
False start offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
We say it so many times, just don't try to predict, because just so much goes on. You look at the schedule, you think, well, you can never say anything sure, but we saw Detroit Thanksgiving Day against the Miami Dolphins, going up to New England, Patriots, everything to play for. You figure easy victory for the Patriots. It's just not so. Every week it's proven to us the NFL is tough.
Herron picking up some numbers here at the end of the game. Another catch, another first down, 23 seconds.
First and 10, ball at the 38.
Packers are going to fall to 4-8 on the year, a third consecutive loss. And the Jets are going to improve to 7-5. And you wonder how many people really out there before the season started even thought they'd be capable of 7 wins on the season, much less through 12 games. That one intended for Martin.
The Jets have definitely been one of the surprises of the NFL. Yes, if you'd have said, okay, if you'd have asked me 7? Will they win 7 more or less? I'd have went, oh, absolutely less. New coach. Big transition in players, but they have found a core on both sides. The wide receivers, Chad Pennington, 2 new rookie offensive linemen who are playing well. Defense, a lot of good spots on the defense right now, so the immediate future looks good for the Jets.
Last pass was intended for Francis. This one goes to Herron, and that might end it. A timeout called by Green Bay, which the crowd seems to be rather pleased. They want one more. They want one more throw into the end zone. One more Favre touchdown pass.
That could be part of it, Jim, but it could be Mike McCarthy just saying, look, trying to instill in his team that, you know, and it's, you think, oh, this couldn't be true, but it is. We don't give up. We'll play it to the end. Kind of makes me think of you today, hanging in here till the end, this cold weather.
Our executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus, Tony Petiti, coordinating producer of the NFL, producer of this game, Lance Barrow, the game directed by Mike Arnold, senior producer, and the producer of the NFL Today, Eric Mann, studio directed by Bob Mattina, coordinating producer of the CBS Sports Department, Harold Bryant, associate directors Steve Karasik, Pete Radovich Jr., broadcast associates, our guys Andy Friedman and Steve Murphy. Our thanks to them. Our technical manager Pete Calandra. It's Jennings, Latterling, and Morency is dropped to end the game. The Jets with an